More Dota. Loads more Dota. And that all depends on this draft, so we're already halfway in. It is Darkseer, Winter Wyvern, and Juggernaut for the CDC lineup. And we have a Slaughter first pick again for Virtus.Pro, who went with the Shadow Fiend and the Rubik.
Yeah. Feels like the Slaughter, a bit of a block pick from CDC, who've been running it a lot on aggressive, and synergizes really nicely with the Darkseer. So VP going for a heavy minus armor strat with the SF plus Slaughter here. And CDEC going for the more teamfight-centric draft with Winter Wyvern, Darkseer. Wyvern a great response to FS Slaughter because of the Cold Embrace kind of being able to deal with all that physical damage. Early game not great because it sets up for easy raises, but once you get past that like 20-30 minute mark, the Cold Embrace really becomes a key spell in teamfights.
Don't count out aggressive Jug though. We saw that world record Jug performance at MLG. It was out of control to see it firsthand, so it's definitely not something you want to be underestimating, but do like the Synergetic lineup from Virtus.Pro. This feels a bit more comfortable, and I'm sure after that last series, they are not going to be looking to pull any punches, and they're going to be going hard in the paint at this point. So let's see where CDC
you called it, Dakota.
TA going to be grabbed.
When you said it's Jug, I didn't realize it already picked it. I thought you were predicting picks here. I'm like a minute, 2 minutes behind you. I was like, damn, you made a good prediction on that. I'm like, whew.
I wish I could take credit for that.
You only confused me. You didn't confuse anyone on the Twitch stream. But I'm just like, I looked over like, damn.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, you know what? My microphone is not on.
They heard you through God's
I happened to quickly check out the chat, and there was two chatters when Kyle Guy's too low, Kyle Guy's too high. And I'm like, that makes no sense at all. But now I can see. Hi, everyone.
That makes sense if you use your imagination.
Now I'm probably really loud, so let me move my mic away. Sorry about that.
So,
Cheeky TA, though, going to be grabbed up.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that CDC did their homework, banned out the God Quap, or the G Quap rather, because that was just dominating for us in the previous game. But with the Visage picked up, you must ask yourself, are we going to see another Drow coming up from Virtus.Pro, or is CDC going to ban it out? Because they do have a distance controller right now. They can have Templar Assassin, get a Blink Dagger, you know, potentially they could deal with that. And I believe, this the team that also picked up a Blink Dagger on their Juggernaut?
He does go for it like as a third or fourth item. Like he'll go Battle Fury followed up by whatever, like Battle Fury SMY Blink or something, for example. And then he likes the Moonshot as well. But they ban out Venge instead, deciding that's maybe a bigger threat than the Drow Ranger.
Maybe more unpredictable for them to deal with.
I think the swap is one of those key spells which can actually cause problems for the CDC lineup. If you swap the Jug into a really bad spot, same with the TA. With the TA having a Blink against Drow, you can kind of pick and decide when you feel comfortable engaging in, trying to blow up the Drow when you know that this Crush is on cooldown, for example, or Rubik's out of position, not going to be able to get a telekinesis off on you. So
yeah, and the minus armor that comes from the Venge would also synergize so well with the Slaughter and the Shadow Fiend. It's just maybe a bit too much of the minus armor going on there, which, I mean, Virtus.Pro will already have. Last game, we actually saw them going...
wait, what is that hero? Well, who is that?
Nyx Assassin.
I think it's a Reborn bug.
What is that? Is that a literal... That's a...
I like it. I don't know if you did it intentionally. You did. Okay.
I think that hero has been unreleased and someone leaked it through. Where the hell has Weaver been all
that's
my
insane.
life?
I mean, he does go. He has minus armor. Normally goes for Desolator. You can only imagine how fast they will be able to take Roshan very early on, which they do like to do when they have the Slaughter in their team. Even if they're on the Radiant side, like, who cares? I think CDC, they have to prepare to fight early on, which luckily for them, their heroes can do.
I feel like that if
I just see Dakota with his mouth open, is like, wait.
Well, because I have to look at the team from afar. I was just like, I'm surprised they actually didn't go for Vengeful Spirit, but they banned it out. And I'm like, I bet if they didn't ban it out, he probably just would have gone for the Vengeful Spirit again. And he's like, oh, what fits the bill? And I'm really happy to see a Weaver. This hero just has been really off the radar.
It can take advantage of CDC's lack of control. Right now, it's a Winter's Curse and a Vacuum, both long cooldown spells, and you're not spells you can really use to just go on a Weaver by yourself. So CDC will be looking at heroes like Lion, Shadow Shaman as last pick options because they desperately need some kind of lockdown to deal with Weaver. And that's where the Drow wouldn't have been as good as the Weaver as far as staying alive, because a Jug with a Blink, a TA with a Blink, suddenly you're just on top of the Drow, and Drow has no real defensive capabilities against those kind of heroes.
They need a way now to lock down this Weaver, a secondary support, a Disruptor, a Skywrath. Is Silence of utmost importance against something like a Weaver here?
CDC love running Silencer. I just think they need actual lockdown.
Shadow Shaman comes to mind.
Shadow Shaman.
They have tried Shadow Shaman in the past. I'm personally not sold. Like, I like the hero a lot, but he's so slow. And just imagine him on the lane against a Weaver. He'll actually suffer a lot. It's going to be a Lion.
Okay.
Also,
It's
tricky to deal with, but
the thing
bit
is,
more
Lion
solid,
in
bit more
general is
fast.
just a really weak hero at the moment, but they were forced into picking a weak hero because of the Weaver. So I feel VP very much with a draft advantage. CDC pick a hero that was necessary for their draft to counter the Weaver, but ultimately it's not good at zoning, it's not really good at roaming and ganking, needs a lot, doesn't really offer a lot until you hit level 6, can't zone pesky offlaners like a Slider all too well. So I like VP's draft here in game number 1.
I mean, I like the Lion. Typically, Weaver also likes to go Lincolns. He has the easy Lincolns pop with the mana drain, and Weaver's not known to have the biggest health pool, so the burst could help out a bit. And I was also pulling for the Rasta pick, by the way, just because the Dota 1 Classic was having a Jug and a Rasta together, but looks like that's not going to be the case. And as the game does get underway, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to our casters right now, and it looks like it's going to be Odie and Mr. Merlini Wu. Gentlemen, take it away.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some action here. Virtus.Pro versus CDEC with myself, ODPixel, and Ben Merlini Wu. We're ready to go, and this should be a pretty exciting series. Ben, what do you reckon about the draft? Those two final picks from both sides, VP slipping through the Weaver, and CDEC responding with the Lion pickup.
Weaver is a little bugger we haven't really seen at all, but he's pretty good. I think that it's not a great substitute for the Drow Ranger, but Lion's already a pretty good hero to deal with him, and I think he's susceptible to the combo thrown out from Winter Wyvern and Darkseer, so I think they can make it work.
I mean, in terms of a CDEC's lineup, the fact that they're going to have Shiki on the TA, there's going to be the potential for Go. In terms of kind of breaking through refraction as well, there's VP don't have a huge amount to do with that, and I guess I kind of like the Weaver in the sense that they're also going to have the bugs, so it's something else that Illidan can throw in, and in these fights, Shiki's going to be a little bit aware of the fact that he's going to lose those refraction charges. But other than that, I
more minus
like the
armor
TA here. The TA is, I just feel it's a pretty strong lineup here from CDEC.
It's aight. He kind of gets owned by Visage. There's so many instances of damage that it's really hard to actually keep refraction up. And
Actually, yeah, with the familiars,
yeah.
yeah.
They have so much minus armor synergy. I guess you can try and steal meld with Rubik and get even more minus armor.
I mean, I've got to say, this has got to be kind of one of the heroes of the tournament. The fact that we're seeing this Slardar yet again. We've seen Misery picking it up numerous times on the off lane, Bulba as well following suit, and DK Phobos.
CDEC on the safe lane.
Yeah. Like, everyone loves the Slardar, and obviously Phobos playing it on the off lane this game. I mean, what is it about this hero that suddenly teams have just realized he's so damn strong?
They realized that he doesn't have to be a position 1.
Yeah.
I think almost exclusively before he was in position 1, and now he's position 3. I've occasionally seen him in a position 4, and he's actually really good in that sort of scenario.
Okay, and in terms of the rest of the lane, so you can have G here on the middle lane on his Shadow Fiend, up against Shiki on the TA. And so far, G had a little bit of a head start there as FNG came in on the Rubik to get some space. So he's got the initial set of, initial 5 stacks here with the Necromastery, so he should be alright in terms of starting off in the lane. And top lane, yes, can we just see how much Phobos could achieve here, because there is the lockdown and control with Garda, especially when they get a couple more levels on this Lion. It's going to be a pretty scary lane for Phobos. Bottom lane, a bit of action here between XZ and Lil here on the Visage, and now with the telekinesis, they might just be able to find themselves a kill here. They're looking for XZ, they're going to wrap around here. Lil's going to be there ready to trap him up. XZ still salving up, now the salve's being cancelled. FNG blocking him in, but XZ's just going to give it the old walk around. He's got a surge, and he might just get away here. The Great Chill coming out, is it going to be enough? Yes it is. Lil will be able to find first blood there. They take their time, but nonetheless being able to get that early kill on the Darkseer is always going to be nice for VP.
G almost took a spill in the mid lane. Kind of nice moves by the Darkseer, but with his Observer Ward there, it's nearly impossible for him to stay in the lane. That was a really nice telekinesis during a surge too, else he would have been able to salve up to a much higher HP threshold.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of both of the offlaners, do you feel there's quite a clear kind of loser in the sense of having a harder lane against what the opposition's throwing at them with the safe lane compositions?
I think probably. Well, I think Darkseer has a harder time, but at the same time, they had to throw more resources mid, and the supports kind of have to rotate there. So I guess it's about even in terms of that sense. They can't split equal resources, and on the side of CDC, they always have to worry about the Radiant Shadow Fiend. So you're under more pressure to get more farm developed for your cores.
Ooh, top lane, look at this. This is a lovely rune pickup for Garda. He's level 2. He's got a point in the Hex and a point in the stun. Let's see if they can make a go on Phobos, and here we go, they reveal themselves aggressive, moving in. He's got 2 points in the Blade Fury here, looking for Phobos, and this should be a kill. No way that Phobos gets himself out of it. And actually goes the way of Q there with the tick damage from the Arctic Burn, but a kill nonetheless again for the safe lane of CDEC. So both safe lanes being able to find a kill against the enemy offlaners. So that's the side lanes in kind of control, but the mid lane at the moment, G is certainly having the better time compared to Shiki's TA.
I think the supports came mid early from the side of VP, and
yeah,
that
FNG helped out
really hurt him. The Winter Wyvern came by too, but you know he can't really do as much when he has Arctic Burn on a super long cooldown. So I think it's all in all it's a pretty good shape up for VP. Although the Slardar having to deal with the invisibility rune is really tough for him because now it's going to hit nighttime fairly soon, and he doesn't really have any defensive maneuvers. Like if someone TPs in, they can't stop the spinning Juggernaut. So if he gets caught, he's just dead regardless.
And in terms of both of the safe lane farms, he's got 24-10 at the moment on aggressive. If you look down to the bottom lane, and Eleden's farm at the moment a little bit further behind, 19 for 14. So a little bit of a difference there for the position ones. Garda coming towards the mid lane. In fact, looking towards the top room. Phobos will be able to find himself the bounty. He'll get himself an illusion down bottom. And mid lane, FNG just hanging around, maybe seeing if Shiki overextends here. So it's going to be hard to try and get this jump onto Shiki. But if he does, a telekinesis and a few raises could do quite a bit against this TA, who's running a little bit low on the mana now as she's emptied the bottle.
They've stacked so many camps on Radiant side. I guess both sides have camps, but it's much easier for the Shadow Fiend to take them out.
And I think they'll put a lot into the G basket. We know that he's good on the SF. We've seen him do this time and time again, and it is definitely one of his signature heroes. I put it up there with his quad performances, really. So if they can find the farm for G, they're going to feel in a very, very comfortable position going up against CDEC, is it?
Yeah, I also think that Shadow Fiend's one of his best heroes. Completely agree. So what about in terms of like team fight potential and Roshan potential later in the game? I think both teams have like actually extremely good Roshan potential.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it, for
Healing
both?
Ward, Amplify, Meld Strike. There's a lot of good team fight. I guess CDC is better at team fighting around the pit though because of the Darkseer and the Winter's Curse. But I don't know. VP doesn't really have that much team fight. You have to steal something like really nasty, like a Vacuum or Wall or Winter's Curse for you to be able to deal with CDC's team fight. Unless you get like a really timely time lapse on the Omni Slash, but that's very unlikely.
Yeah, and I think at the moment as well, just looking at how they're preparing for this game, both sides making a huge amount of stacks in the jungle, as you were saying, both being very, very efficient with these stacks. It looks like XZ's going to clean up those of his own jungle, try and get some more farm in the Darkseer. So this is going to leave this bottom lane here for Illidan to pretty much have the free farm.
Yeah, the laning phase went way better for CDC's offlane, I would say, because of that Invis rune. And both of them have this ward at 6, but he's just way more scared as the Slaughter because of the spin. And then Darkseer has level 2 Surge, so he can kind of outrun the telekinesis.
Oh, this is some beautiful... Look at this stack here that G's going to clean up.
That is nasty.
That is a huge burst of income and XP here for the Shadow Fiend. And the thing is, of course, Shiki, he's not been given any on the side of the Dire. They were kind of stacked up and cleared out by XZ.
It's level 6 on aggressive. They're looking actually to make a move.
Okay, let's see if they can. I mean,
they just hit the ultimate on him, but now he won't have spin. I guess they don't even care about Shiki getting that much farm. That's scary because he's pretty under farm compared to Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, he's going to be so far behind G.
It's 35 CS behind.
It's a huge difference.
So they're looking like they're gearing up for a smoke on aggressive, but they're spending a lot of time trying to wander around and get some kills while VP is just power farming in their own jungle.
I mean, VP have got to realize this as well. It's been for about 30 seconds that on the top lane it's just been Q solo solo farming the wave, getting the XP on the Wyverns. They're going to know that there's a smoke up here. There's a lot of stacks out. This is big though. If they can get G, this will be a massive pick-off to find. But the bounces, no, they bounce back to the stack. Aggressive Brew continue to chase it. G trying to duke it out here. G's going to live. Aggressive just tries for the TP. Realizes he can't get G. Garda's going to lose his life. They will get the kill onto G with Shiki's appearance with the haste rune.
Wow, what a haste rune.
But it was a good job that Shiki had that because there was a little bit of a mess there from the rotation of aggressive.
It really was. I don't know why they stopped by to take out that stack because of that, he didn't have mana. He cleared it up before. He had 320 mana, which is enough for a spin into, or sorry, an Omni Slash into a spin, and after that, you can just TP away without really worrying about anything. I guess maybe you have to worry about Bash, but there's not even one level of Bash on the Slardar, so I don't know. That could have been a lot cleaner kill, and just by the luck of the haste rune, CDEC managed to come out slightly ahead in that, and they weren't even able to jack the stacks. But nice movement by Shadow Fiend, kind of running back into the stack. They could have just spun on him, right? I think so too. They didn't even need to blow Omni Slash necessarily.
Especially with the skill, but he's going with 3 points in the spin. He hit up a little bit, unfortunately. Couldn't get there in time for the crush. 8 minutes in, 2 for 2 at the moment. It's all about the farm game really for both of these teams. Aggressive, being guarded up by Garda. 7 levels now on the Juggernaut. Illidan, what's he picked up here on the Courier? So it's okay, just getting the treads on top of the Aquila, so getting those stats up. And I guess the play here for the CDEC is the fact that they're giving Q this lane, so he's going to have a pretty good timing on the Winter's Curse. It's just going to be a question of how much that they can do with it, and where they can find the action for aggressive.
Steal it.
Exactly, I mean, FNG. It's he's pretty good with the old ribbing Q. Oh! That was very close. Illidan nearly managed to find himself a kill there. And I'd be talking about the FNG stealing it. They're giving him the lane here in mid. G's backed off for the stacks. FNG's being as efficient as he can, taking the levels, trying to get himself closer to level 6. And some more stacks being cleared up here by aggressive with the Blade Fury. So the farm's still looking relatively good. It's coming, 9 minutes in. He is just 400 behind G, which isn't bad considering how much G has been given in the jungle. And also considering the aggressive's been kind of all over the map as well.
Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah, they're transitioning into way more of a farming build though, because we see the Voidstone already come out on aggressive. So that means no early drums, which means that he could potentially die. He's super squishy. He doesn't really have that many stats, and you can just amp him up after a spin, and he's actually very likely to die. So I'm a little bit worried for aggressive heading into the mid game, and I don't think they're going to have time to actually get that much value out of the Battle Fury because of how underfarmed Shiki is.
Yeah, G at the moment as well. He's touching on to level 11, and Shiki's only hit level 9, so you've already got the SF being 2 levels ahead of the TA.
And that's with the death on the Shadow Fiend. Like if he didn't die there, he'd be like 2,000 gold ahead instead of just 1,000.
This is a very comfortable place for G to be in terms of growth, and they're going to spot this out as well. They're going to block it. FNG blocking the ancient stack. It's already pretty sizable here for Shiki, but there's about a triple stack coming out here. So Shiki, we'll see if he is able to go over and clear it. But they've still got that Radiant Ward there as well, so VP will know when he goes for it, and they very well may try and react to it and see if they can stop it. And yeah, so now just building towards the S and Y here on G. Maybe the Manta style as well. Is the Manta style going to be the item here against CDEC's lineup, or for G on the SF? Or do you think it would just be the straight S and Y?
I don't know. Let's see Illidan.
They've got a lot of lockdown here. I don't know if Illidan's going to get the chance to get himself out. Nope, they even popped the Omni Slash just to make sure there's no chance for the time lapse.
At least they didn't use Omni Slash and Finger. It could have been actually much worse. Manta Style's pretty good. I like it a lot versus the Juggernaut.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's also really good versus TA, I think. It's okay versus Lion if you can cast it pretty early on in the fight, but it's especially good versus Juggernaut, although the tendency has been towards S and Y just to simply tank up, especially if you have a mech. But
I like this as well. Look, we talked about having that ward by Shiki on the Ancients. They are grouped up as 4, and they're going to smoke up and go for him. This is some really smart play from VP if they can catch out Shiki on the TA. He's yet to clear the stack. G trying to close the gap first, and here we go. He's got an Invis rune as well. This couldn't be any more perfect for them. They've got the telekinesis to set it up. They'll catch Shiki out, bring him down. He won't be able to finish off the Ancient stack, and this ward here doing a lot for VP, and that's a big kill to find, especially with the ability to clear up the stack themselves.
There's so many heroes missing at that point. I'm surprised he went for that aggressive of a play. I suppose, because if you're in CDEC's shoes, like you're wondering why no one was helping out the Weaver on top. You would have expected like a counter gank at the very least. So if they're not on the top side of that, they're either in mid or bottom, and they're very likely to be in their jungle around that area. So you're pretty much just counting on them not having a reserve reward, and they don't really have a vision of this area on the bottom. So I guess maybe he just assumed that they didn't have a ward.
Oh, aggressive coming in with a Blade Fury. FNG's going to attack. Oh, he's stolen the Blade Fury. Look at this man's swag. FNG just swags it off. XE is coming in, though, with the Darkseer. The finger will finish off FNG. There's the Soul Assumption bursting down Lion, and his 2 heroes dead at the moment on CDC. They may even lose Shiki as well. Chasing him down, the 3 of them. He's got to sit there with the Mel, but it's not going to save this man. Illidan coming through as well. G hitting the raises, and it's a 3rd pick-off here for the side of VP. And VP just... the last 2 kind of plays that we're seeing coming out from them, and the 3rd play here going for Roshan, absolutely huge for the team. Illidan's going to find Q up here, and I think he just kills him here. He's got a Winter's Curse, he has got XE around, but Illidan's just going to go in with the Amplify being thrown in from Phobos. The Winter's Curse coming through, but there's a time-lapse available. Can he get it off? No! He can't get it off in time. The Familiar's trying to chase XE and Q, and okay, XE and Q are able to keep their lives intact, but the space is there for VP to find Roshan. And these are some big moves from VP. Just a little bit unfortunate there for them that they couldn't get that time-lapse off on Illidan's Weaver. That's 6 for 5 at the moment here. It's certainly a close game. In terms of the graphs, it's been up and down, up and down. Obviously, with that next fight, they are going to have Aegis on G. And G at the moment really racking up that gold. 7.4k net worth on him. He's almost 2k ahead of Aggressive's Jug.
That was such an unfortunate turn of events that they were able to steal that stack. Like, if he doesn't go for the stack, they can't actually take it that quickly unless they smoke in. And it's generally pretty dangerous because TA might have a trap in that area, or they might have an observer ward. But because of that, it just led to this terrible, terrible sequence of events, as well as kind of the botched gank on the Shadow Fiend that was kind of saved by the haste. So CDC, I mean, kind of lucking out in the earlier part of the game, but now they're just getting rolled.
Yeah, caught out here by the Familiars. The Bucks will latch as well. He's going to be able to Arctic Burn and fly away to the high ground.
They need more armor. Like, he has Perseverance now, but is he going to get Battle Fury at a reasonable time? He has no armor. He spun in last time. He got amped up, and I think he died to the Visage Birds that last fight. And it's becoming increasingly difficult for them to really fight them head on. They really need a big Winter's Curse into vacuum combo, but no wall even skilled up on Darkseer.
Illidan's just going straight in. He's just sitting here between the tier 2 and the tier 3. Shiki just gets blown up by the power of VP. Illidan's now moving into the base. There's still a tier 2, but he's walking up to the tier 3. FNG will steal the Hex here from Garda on the Lion.
You asked about Slardar, man. He's good. All you need to do is throw out an amp. You don't even need his stun for him to be that useful, at least in this game. It's crazy.
Oh, Q. You might have wanted to come this close. He will be surged back. Radiant Courage just hanging around here with the team. And yeah, VP will find this tower. They've still got the Aegis on G. And 15 minutes in, tier 2 falling in the mid lane, and not a lot the CDEC can do in response. Aggressive, trying his best to farm in the enemy jungle, but as you said, he's just farming towards that Battle Fury, and even with that, it doesn't feel like it's going to be the impactful pickup that CDEC need to deal with VP's aggression.
The biggest problem, I think, is Shiki on the TA. What does he get? If he blinks...
Oh, if they kill Aggressive here as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Too much physical. Why?
Jeez.
That was so close.
That was incredibly close. He was lucky to get himself out of that one.
But what does TA do in this sort of situation? Like, I honestly think she's kind of just doomed to die in the team fights.
I mean, Shiki, yeah, he's falling behind. He's on the same level as Farmers, as like Lil's Visage. I mean, give credit, you know, Lil's Visage is pretty freaking good, but the fact that your TA is on the same level as the enemy Visage is not great news for CDC.
Not at all. Not at all. Can't melt dodge anything with the amp on you.
Yeah.
So many instances of damage to pop refraction. I don't think this is a good TA game. Setting it for a smoke ink. They don't get baited out by the illusion, but still kind of playing pretty warily. Shadow Fiend does have the Aegis. This might not even be the kill that they're looking for.
Oh, Garda leading in. He finds the stun, just the tip. Hex as well. They should be able to pop the Aegis with the vacuum back, and they will. G's Aegis is down, but Illidan's there looking for the wraparound. He's going straight for Q. Aegis comes out. Garda's been left behind. Crushed from Phobos. That's going to be one kill. They may find more here. Illidan's looking for Q. He has got the Arctic Burn. Will be able to fly up, but with the Amplify, just a right click here. Flying Q. He's only just surviving, but now with the creeps, oh, Weaver with the bug on him. Chomping away at Q, gets the kill with the Germinate, with the Swarm that was finishing him off there.
The Swarm.
My goodness, 9 for 5, CDEC just...
How much damage does this thing do with amp on him? Quad attack damage 20, attack frequency 0.95, duration 16. I guess that's pretty good.
Especially when, well, what level is Phobos at the moment? Okay, it's still just level 8, but yeah. Knocking in a -10 onto some of these squishier heroes, we're already seeing how much it can do. I mean, you're looking at a Wyvern walking around with 3 armor. You know, suddenly he's going to be on -7, and that's when he's going to be doing even more than that in terms of HP damage.
Got the Battle Fury, though.
Okay.
Time to farm our way to victory.
This is it. The Juggernaut Battle Fury. It's going to potentially do it here for aggressive.
Honestly, I'm surprised they're not further behind in gold, but now push comes to shove as VP forced the high ground issue.
Shiki's got his blink here.
I mean, is that going to do that much?
Well, we'll have to see.
Lil's not a target. He has 23 armor with Medallion castle on something else. So the Meld Strike's not going to really do that much. Illidan has Time Lapse.
FNG, TPing down to the bottom lane. What's he going to steal? He's going to steal the Blade Fury. Aggressive just Blade Furies and TPs out. Doesn't want to stick around in case there was follow-up TPs from the side of VP, but 9 for 5 at the moment.
Aggressive is doing a pretty good job of farming the opponent in jungle while
yeah.
they're messing around in their own. XZ gets stunned out.
Oh, okie
Nice resummon.
Yeah,
by
look
Lil.
at these stuns as well, controlling Shiki. Dust has come out, it's not going to connect onto Illidan. Aggressive moving in, has the Omni Slash, and they'll use them both on Lil. It only just kills him. Now Phobos turns in with a Blink Crush. They blow up Shiki. Now they get aggressive here as well, almost certainly. He's got the Blade Fury. They're going to be able to save him from the right clicks here as Phobos moves in. He's going to have Blink in too. Amplifies out. Phobos ready for a potential jump in. The birds are still changing down and he'll just jump onto Q. Looks like aggressive will have some mercy. Illidan, will he be able to kill him for the base? Will it be enough? No, not enough to kill aggressive. And now they'll actually be able to turn onto Illidan. They get the Hex and the stun out onto the Weaver. He is low on mana here. The dust has come out. Maybe Illidan's bit off a bit more than he can chew here. As, yeah, they're going to lose the Weaver here. Won't be able to find anything in return. So Illidan diving a little bit too deep. They did lose Lil there as well. They got the kill on Shiki, but maybe a little bit too over-aggressive there from VP then on the top lane.
They really wanted the aggressive kill there and was able to spin all the damage off. But nice resummon by Visage. I mean, Visage is insanely farmed at this point, though.
Oh, yeah. Level 11, point boost on top of the Solar Crest, and we're just 19 minutes in. It's, yeah, I mean, he's still on top of the Shiki T8. He's nearly close to Illidan on this, what was a safe lane Weaver. I mean,
I'm surprised they don't have a mech on Radiant side. I think that these team fights would be so much more smooth if they had a mech to kind of just tank the Omni Slash. Juggernaut's not that farmed at this point, and let's see, no ultimates on CDEC, an unexpected smoke incoming. I don't think any of these ultimates are that close to coming off cooldown.
Well, we'll see if they can catch someone out nonetheless. I mean, if we look for G, here's the Hex to lead in. Looking to try and get FNG as well, but he Blade Furies it off. They've got the control for G, and they'll get the kill on the Shadow. That's very nice pick up there for CDEC catching G all on his own. Oh, Lil. Going to be able to get the Courier Snipe here. Right, the Micro will be there, and yeah, Jug just TPs out. Doesn't want to have to deal with the 1v1 with Lil's Visage, especially with Illidan.
Another really nice move.
Yeah.
Because they saw only the Rubik there when they went to go for the Shadow Fiend. So kind of reading the map very, very well, even with limited vision around the map. That's a smart play. He could still potentially die to Bash, but that's a risk that you have to take. You have to try and overcome the Shadow Fiend's net worth at some point. And Manta can actually be a double-edged sword against a Battle Fury Juggernaut. I think it's really good versus a non-Battle Fury Juggernaut, but you know, it's kind of like versus Ember, where you might just get cleaved down.
Aggressive. He's got to be careful there. Phobos and Lil moving in. Has he got backup? He has got Shiki in the neighborhood. Looks like it's going to be enough to hold Lil and Phobos back. Bottom lane, though, FNG won't be able to save himself with the Stolen Blade Fury. XZ Guard and Q going. So CDC still finding themselves the kills here. And as you said, aggressive, keeping the farm game up. He's pretty close to the level of farm that's on G's Shadow Fiend.
He is way more farmed than he should be, and TA's slightly less farmed than she should be. So overall, I think CDEC have caught right back up after that series of fights that they've taken, especially the smoke ink on the Shadow Fiend, and VP just kind of not in the right place for the counter initiation. They really need the Slardar to be there to just instantly jump because they don't have BKBs yet on the Radiant side.
Ben, is this a Weaver Aghanims rush?
Weaver Aghanims is good.
Okay. I mean, I guess they've got the damage with the minus armor anyway and the Amplify. So in
imagine if someone gets
click,
Winter's Cursed and you kind of just waste their ultimate. It's pretty good.
It's going to be interesting to see what the plays are that Illidan can come out with when he does have that Aghanims, which he's incredibly close to if he wants to spend the money on it. coming up to with just the final 370 to go, and he'll have the Aghanims on Weaver.
Yeah. I think this only works if you have as farmed as a 4 position as Lil is, though. I think without it, you're like, well, okay, great, I can save people, but I don't do any damage. But with the amp, you know, everything scales so much better than it would normally.
An easy Roshan here for VP.
They have
DD.
this is not easy. They have the.
Look how quick they're taking it, though. Are they going to be able to get there in time? I don't know if they
know.
are.
They have
look
the
at them
trap.
melt.
What are they waiting for? Okay, it's too late.
Yeah, G's just going to take the ages to see
They
DC
didn't
still come in.
fight. They knew. They had the trap. Scared. I guess maybe they're underestimating the damage from the presence of the Dark Lord as well as amplified damage, but that is fast.
And here we go, VP smoked up. Ready to go, ready to try and find something. And this is a fight with the Weaver and his Aghanims. At the same time, though, we did just see CDEC get a couple of key picks up. Blink Dagger on the Wyvern, Blink Dagger on the Dark Seer as well. So the initiation and counter initiations are going to be there if VP don't get a superior jump in. Hanging outside of the base here, see if CDEC come out, but it looks like CDEC are wiser to this movement and they're going to play it safe. The question is, do they jump on G? It doesn't look
They're
like
just looking for the right opportunity. Great sentry ward by FNG. That jump is so much easier during the nighttime with the observer ward, but deciding that they don't want to deal with that high ground defense. That is one super strong point of CDEC's lineup, and normally you don't group up for a Battle Fury Omni / Cleave, but with Winter's Curse and Vacuum, you can't help but clump. Especially without BKBs.
Yeah, I mean, talking about G, he has got the BKB now finished and sent out. Coming out on the courier here, so they're going to have that ready for the next fight as well. I think still at this point VP want to fight, but so does CDEC. They're smoked up. They're moving down towards.
They had that Ags. Look at Phobos' position. It's really good. We have Weaver on the left and Phobos on the right to save.
Got him leading in. Looking for G. They've got the Hex to follow up as well. The Familiar Bear's flying through. Just going to lay down the stuns here. Really want to vacuum wall into Winter's Curse. That would be the dream play here from CDEC, but they've got to find the right opening.
The positioning is okay, but they don't have vision in the back.
Aggressive's been found out on the side as well. The Familiar spun him out, forcing him back. He's been amplified up.
They're really good at dropping sentries wherever they fight. They're actually really smart because they're not gonna. He's not gonna make a blind blink into a vacuum. He needs vision, and you know, if he goes there and there's no one there, they just immediately lose the fight. So they don't take the risk of them having wards. Sooner or later they'll get a gem. But I like the way that VP's kind of proceeding with his fights, so that they don't get caught by the combo.
Yeah, tier 1's down, and with the pushing power that VP have, they'll be able to take the tier 2 here as well on the bottom lane. Not a lot the CDC can do to stop this, but the real task for VP is going to be, of course, breaking that high ground with just the amount of tools that CDC have at their disposal to really jump back at anyone trying to break in. They might even try and move out here onto G, and he's been caught out by a Hex as well. That'll be the time that's there from Illidan being thrown down onto the Shadow Fiend. He's going to learn to walk back out, but now Shiki jumps forward, looking for Illidan, who as well has yet to lay down the Winter's Curse, trying to look for the best opportunity.
But now
he might just go back in here. Yeah, Illidan's moving forward. There's your Winter's Curse, but Phobos jumps in with a crush. Aggressive's able to finish off Illidan here, and Phobos trying to get himself out. The wall's being dropped. Shiki being healed up by the Corn Embrace. G's still trying to go for this. Looks for the Requiem, will find it onto Shiki. There's a 2-for-1 at the moment. They only lose Illidan, and they may just find Aggressive as well. And FNG with the stolen Omni Slash, showing Aggressive how it's done. What a player. And it's a 3-for-1 trade. They only lose the Illidan, but there's going to be a buyback coming out from Shiki here on the TA, and a very favorable fight for the side of VP, and they'll just look to get the push straight back on.
It's one of the problems with dealing with the Ags Weaver. You can't focus anyone else because that thing is ridiculous cast range as well as a 20-second cooldown. But I mean, if you really kill him, it's just an Ags Weaver, right? I don't know.
Oh,
it's a weird spot.
Phobos jumping on to secure the Soul Assumption, blowing up this man. Shiki looking for the return, but Phobos gets forced away. Now Shiki's got to be on the retreat here. He's got to be very, very careful. Actually trying to frontline here on the Dark Seer, see if he can find an initiation, but the range racks are down.
They're out of ultimates.
They'll get the melee racks as well, and they're forced to buy back on the Winter's Wyvern, but now they're really bit getting caught up by the stun. It's a lovely vacuum. We'll find one kill here with a Splinter Blast. G might go down as well. That's sitting on 9 HP. G's still somehow alive, and he might get away. Turns around for the raise onto Q. Phobos with the crush, and G just goes back in. He shows no fear. Lil finds a triple kill on the Visage. G somehow surviving throughout that, all on 9 HP. And that's Shiki down for 60 seconds. A dieback on the Wyvern, causing him to be off the map for 40. And they'll just look to take a second set of racks, and VP playing that perfectly there, knowing their limits to the T.
They kind of remind me of eHome, except with better laning phase. VP is just playing amazingly well as their 5-man. Their positioning in the team fights, as well as dropping the sentries, always being prepared, taking down Roshan when they see a slight opportunity, and some parts of CDC were like too hesitant to actually, like they could have contested the second Rosh, and then after that it's like, okay, well now they have to fight this fight where VP's in this excellent position with like Solar Crest in the front and a lot of items out.
Nice fight. Phobos is there with the backup. Crush onto Garda, and the Garda's just eliminated from this fight. And they'll look for the tier 3 hit. I don't know if CDEC can do anything to stop this. They do have a wall. They do have a Winter's Curse. Illidan just aggressively moving in. He's got the time that's back online in 6 seconds as well here. They'll find the tier 3. FNG, what's he stolen? That's the healing ward. Even nice here for the side of VP to stand up. There's an Omni Slash coming through with the vacuum and the Winter's Curse, but VP just aren't dying. They turn their attention towards aggressive. He's got a nice Blade Fury. FNG just about able to ward this off. There's a crush onto Shiki. G just standing ground, and there's your time that's back from Illidan. Giving G back some of the help, but he has been hexed up. There's Corner Brace onto Garda. They'll lose G. The Requiem will burst down a couple of the heroes here, and Illidan is kind of cleaning up here with a killing spree. Phobos chasing in onto Shiki, the Solar Assumption, and the Fade Bolt from FNG. Finish off the Shiki TA. Telekinesis onto aggressive. He'll Blade Fury away, but Illidan will almost certainly chase it down, and GG is called. At the end of the day, VP just outplaying the lineup of CDEC. G's farm absolutely insane on the Shadow Fiend, finishing 6k ahead of that of the Juggernaut. And VP just the better team in that one.
They just never gave them an opportunity to really come together in team fights. CDEC just relying far too much on the Wombo combo. TA had so little impact in the game because of the quick Roshes. So overall, I mean, they just executed so damn well.
They really did. That was some really flashy plays from VP. It's a great teamwork as well.
I like their drow, their drow strats. The Visage, I think, was really key for them. But I mean, the Slaughter also did a lot. I don't know.
The whole team. Yeah, I think they really got the heroes that they wanted to play with. I think you've got to be very careful about giving G a Shadow Fiend, because it's not just G's performance, it's the way that the team works around it, and they set up the farm for him, they get the stacks. Don't let G have the Shadow Fiend, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it banned out in game 2, but then you've got to look at his other heroes like the Quap as well. We know that he's ridiculously good on.
That's a trademark of a good captain, though, when you see that kind of team in their team play. So
really
well
nice.
Well played, FNG.
Well played, FNG, indeed, on the Rubik's, and fantastic steals as well. But we're going to be back for game 2 very shortly. Don't go anywhere, though, because we're going to send straight over to the panelists to hear what they have to say about game 1 between VP and CDEC. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Thank you so much, OD Merlini. We're back at the panel, of course, with Gods and with Sheever. So what's the moral of the story? G plays a damn good Shadow Fiend, and Lil plays a damn good Visage, and everyone else can just do their part, and we'll be fine?
And Illidan plays a damn good support.
Yeah, right? Yep. That was a great Weaver support, if I ever saw one. Always happy to see an Agnum Scepter. I don't know what else he did that game.
Is that maybe like a first even for competitive play? Or at
I
least
wouldn't say
maybe
first,
not first, but
very
first at a
few.
big LAN event. So
yeah.
I think if this game went longer, he would have actually turned into the carry, but he wasn't needed. That was the scariest part, I think, for also the next series for CDEC. If you already lose against 4 heroes with a Weaver that doesn't really do that much, and that you could actually kill, well, good luck next game if you're actually fighting 5 heroes all the time. I mean, it was an incredible performance from Virtus.Pro. I think they showed dominance throughout the entire game. Laning stage went well. Yeah, they had some hiccups, but they could take Roshan early with all the minus armor they had, and they just steamrolled through and never really gave CDEC the chance to catch up.
They had a very clear plan with the opening 2 picks, the Shadow Fiend Slaughter. They were confident in DK Phobos able to play the hero in the offlane, and it feels like Illidan is just naturally giving up farm to G. G has really become the true one-position player on this team, despite playing from the mid lane. Every single game he's top in net worth, whether it's Queen of Pain, Shadow Fiend, TA, you name it. He's the main farmer. Illidan's creating space, and he's kind of taken that, like, the player he's playing against, aggressive style carry play to the next level, where he's not just fighting a lot early, but he's giving more farm away. Aggressive normally still out-farms Shiki, but this is a completely different way of playing the safe lane role.
So what kind of implications is this happening right now? If Virtus.Pro do happen